కృపావార్త కార్యక్రమమునకు స్వాగతం. నేటి ధ్యానాంశము లాభము, ప్రాఫిట్. But to me, to live is Christ, but to die is a profit. నా మట్టుకైతే బ్రతుకుట క్రీస్తే, చావైతే లాభము. యేసేన పరిహారీ, ప్రియ యేసేన పరిహారీ, నా జీవిత కాలమెల్లా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ, యేసేన పరిహారీ, ప్రియ యేసేన పరిహారీ, నా జీవిత కాలమెల్లా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ, నా జీవిత కాలమెల్లా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ. ఎన్ని కష్టాలు కలిగిననో, నన్ను కృంగించే బాధలెన్నో, ఎన్ని నష్టాలు వాటిల్లినా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ, యేసేన పరిహారీ, ప్రియ యేసేన పరిహారీ, నా జీవిత కాలమెల్లా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ, నా జీవిత కాలమెల్లా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ. మణిమాన్యాలు లేకున్నా, మనోవేదనలు వేధించినా, నాకు శాంతి కరువైనా, పలు నిందలు నన్ను చుట్టినా, యేసేన పరిహారీ, ప్రియ యేసేన పరిహారీ, నా జీవిత కాలమెల్లా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ, నా జీవిత కాలమెల్లా ప్రియ ప్రభువేన పరిహారీ. ప్రాఫిట్, లాభము. But to me, to live is Christ, but to die is a profit. నా మట్టుకైతే బ్రతుకుట క్రీస్తే, చావైతే లాభము. To Paul, to die is a profit. It's not out of vexation. It's not out of discouragement. It is so in the life of the great prophet Elijah. The great servant of the Lord Elijah desired death out of vexation, out of fear, out of discouragement. But in the life of Paul, the desire for death is not out of vexation, is not out of discouragement, is not out of fear. Don't we see so many people all around us, multitudes desiring only one thing, but death. The prophet of the Lord Elijah too desired death out of vexation, out of fear, out of frustration. The queen of the land, the queen of Israel, is chasing after the life of Elijah. If by tomorrow you are to be alive, I am not Jezebel, I am not the wife of Ahab, I am not the queen of Israel. రాజు తలుచుకుంటే దెబ్బలకి కొదవ ఏమిటి? Queen has much power at her disposal. This is more so with this queen. This queen is very wicked person that has led the nation Israel to idolatry. She has put for herself 400 pseudo prophets that preach lies, false deception in the name of God. And this wicked woman is chasing after the life of the true servant of God, Elijah. If by tomorrow you are to be alive, my name is not Jezebel, I am not the wife of Ahab, I am not the queen of Israel. So many threatenings. Who is fearing? Who is discouraging? Who is disappointed? Who is downtrodden to the earth? Lord, enough. Enough is enough. I have seen so many troubles. I have seen so many problems. I have seen so many discouragements. I have gone through so many insufficiencies, so much hunger, so much poverty. Enough is enough. Take away my life. Vexation, discouragement. Not to an ordinary person. Are you vexed? Are you disappointed? Are you tired of life? Are you complaining regarding the goodness of God? No wonder you are not as faithful servant as Elijah is. You are not as great a prophet as Elijah is. You have never heard the voice of the Creator God. You have not seen the marvelous, miraculous, wonderful fire from heaven in response to your prayer. But all these things were true in the life of Elijah. Elijah has seen great wonders, great miracles, marvelous things. In response to his prayers, the skies are closed. In response to his prayers, the skies are opened. In response to his prayers, fire has come from heaven. What else? The dead were brought back to life in response to the petition of Elijah. After seeing so many great things from God, should this be the response of Elijah? After seeing the power of God to raise the dead back to life, should Elijah fear Jezebel? Should Elijah complain God? Should Elijah dictate terms to God? God, enough is enough. Take my life. This wicked woman is after my life, chasing my life. What for this woman is chasing my life? What for this wicked queen is after my life? Is it not because of your word? I stood for your word. I stood for your commandments. I stood for justice. And as a result, you see the consequence. The wicked woman, the queen, is after my life with so many threatenings. Lord, enough. I am not greater than my ancestors. Take my life. Death is a profit to me. This is another extreme. Death is profit to Elijah because Elijah thought that he can escape the wrath of the wicked woman, Jezebel. What is the reason for the differences between Elijah and Jezebel? Justice. Eliza stood for justice. Eliza stood on the side of justice. Eliza stood on the side of those that have none to defend them, those that are oppressed, those that are treated unjustly. There is a person by name Naboth. Naboth possessed a vineyard, his ancestral property that has been coming for generations. His ancestors have given him the property of vineyard. The king of Israel, Ahab, a wicked king, being guided by a wicked wife, Jezebel, desired to have for himself the vineyard of Naboth. It so happened that the vineyard of Naboth is adjacent to the garden and palace of King Ahab, reigning over Israel. As your vineyard is adjacent next to my palatial bungalow palace, my vegetable garden, I want to have your vineyard also. No contentment. Profit, profit, profit. This is the norm of the world. How much I have gained today? How much additional bank balance I could save today? How many apartments I could own? This is the motive, objective of people dwelling on earth. Profit, profit, profit. Gain, gain, gain. Wealth, wealth, wealth. What is profit to you? Are you seeking death to be profit out of vexation of life, or with great wisdom of things that are in store for you, are you desiring to live each day for Christ and to die for the glory of God? Paul desired to live not for himself. Each day in Paul's life was lived for the glory of God. That is the very reason why Paul could write more than half of the New Testament of the Holy Bible. Who has ever written more than half of the New Testament of the Bible except Paul? Out of the 27 books, 14 books are compiled by Paul. Even today, 2,000 years have passed. Can anyone imagine that the word is so alive? All those that read through the 14 books of Paul will be for sure receiving the grace of Jesus Christ. The word of the Lord will speak to their hearts, and they will be receiving grace. They will be receiving peace surpassing all knowledge and all understanding. They grow in the grace, knowledge and understanding of Jesus Christ. They will be becoming the temple of God himself, and the Spirit of God himself in the form of word will dwell in them. When a person reads all the 14 of the books of Paul, wherever Paul went, there has been a church that was established, that was planted. What is church? Church is not a mere construction. Church is not a mere construction with building. Nowadays, the church is funded with so much material wealth. So obviously, building the churches, renovating the churches is no wonder, is no difficult task. The church is provided with so much wealth, especially the churches in the West, the churches in the Europe are funded with so much of wealth. Even though the church is burned to ashes, overnight the church can be built. Have we not seen in France and in many other places the historical churches, ancient churches burned to ashes, yet the churches were built, renovated in no time. This is the doing of the material wealth. Yet, having nothing, possessing everything, what Paul has, what Peter has, no material resources. Who can supply for all these needs except God? It is so sweet to trust in God. The apostles had nothing but the name Jesus Christ. On a fine noonday at 3 o'clock in the noon, the apostles of the Lord, Peter and John, goes to the church in Jerusalem. This is not the temple built by Solomon. The temple built by Solomon during the first 7 years of his reign was burned to ashes by Nebuchadnezzar. And subsequently, the second temple was built during the time of Zerubbabel, during the times of Ezra, Nehemiah. Through the generous resources provided by the king of Persia, Koresh, all the wealth that has been taken away by Nebuchadnezzar, that has waged a war over Jerusalem, is brought back so miraculously, so wonderfully. The teacher of the law, Ezra, brings back the golden utensils that were taken from the temple that was built and dedicated by Solomon and burned to ashes, and all the wealth from the temple built by Solomon taken up by Nebuchadnezzar to Babylon were miraculously in the appointed time were again brought back safely to Jerusalem by the teacher of the law, Ezra. Ezra, while returning from Babylon with the wealth, golden utensils, much gold, much silver, much brass, all the wealth that has been taken away from the temple of God, from Jerusalem during the times of Nebuchadnezzar, were miraculously, wonderfully brought back during the times of Nehemiah, during the times of Ezra, during the times of Zerubbabel. What a wonder! It is so difficult for the government of India to bring back the wealth that has been taken away by the British during a century-old reign of the British over India. Imagine, will it be a possible task, will it be a simple task to bring back the wealth that has been taken away by Nebuchadnezzar to the mighty empire, Babylon? It's next to impossible, but for the grace of God, but for the work of the Spirit of God. But the word of the Lord clearly says, the heart of the king is like streams of water in the hands of God. God has destined so that the temple be burned to ashes. God has clearly told Solomon, you are going away from my ways. God has clearly told to Hizkiah, Hizkiah, who are they? From where they have come? What did you show to them? I have shown everything. You have shown everything. They will take away everything. Nothing will be left to you, because you have shown everything, not hiding any wealth, not hiding any good things that I have provided you. All things will be taken away by your enemies, as the mouth of the Lord has spoken after the reign of Manasseh, the most wicked king over Israel, that has filled Jerusalem with the blood. The kingdom was given to the Babylonian Empire, Babylonian Emperor Nebuchadnezzar, and the temple was burned to ashes, and all the wealth was taken away by Nebuchadnezzar to Babylon. Again, Daniel, from the scriptures, the man of prayer, the prophet of God, learns that the appointed time of the exile of Jews is coming to an end. And all the Jews that were in exile, that were in a foreign land, taken as captives from Israel, will be returning to their homeland. very soon. Daniel is closely following the scriptures, the word of the God, the future happenings that are going to happen, and it is revealed to Daniel that very soon the 70 years of exile of the people of God in a foreign land is going to come to an end, and they will be returning to their homeland. What a joy, what a wonder. Sing for us one of the songs of Zion. In a foreign land, the people of God were asked by their enemies to sing one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing in a foreign land, in exile, in captivity, the songs of Zion? In grief, in sorrow, the people of God are in exile, not able to sing the songs of Zion. సియోను పాటలు సంతోషముగా పాడుచు సియోను వెళ్ళుదము. సియోను పాటలు సంతోషముగా పాడుచు సియోను వెళ్ళుదము. ఐగుప్తును విడచినట్టి మీరు అరణ్యవాసులై ధరలో. ఐగుప్తును విడచినట్టి మీరు అరణ్యవాసులై ధరలో. నిత్య నివాసములేదిలలో నా నేత్రాలు కానను పై నిల్పుడి. నిత్య నివాసములేదిలలో నా నేత్రాలు కానను పై నిల్పుడి. సియోను పాటలు సంతోషముగా పాడుచు సియోను వెళ్ళుదము. ఐగుప్తును విడచినట్టి మీరు అరణ్యవాసులై ధరలో. నిత్య నివాసములేదిలలో నా నేత్రాలు కానను పై నిల్పుడి. నిత్య నివాసములేదిలలో నా నేత్రాలు కానను పై నిల్పుడి. మారాను పోలిన చేదైన స్థలముల ద్వారా పోవలసి ఉన్ననెమే. మారాను పోలిన చేదైన స్థలముల ద్వారా పోవలసి ఉన్ననెమే. నిరక్షకుండగు యేసే నడుపును మారని తనదు మాట నమో. నిరక్షకుండగు యేసే నడుపును మారని తనదు మాట నమో. సియోను పాటలు సంతోషముగా పాడుచు సియోను వెళ్ళుదము. Sing forth for us one of the songs of Zion. In Babylon, near the streams of water, we are in agony, we are in sorrow, we are in grief, we are in tears, not able to sing the songs of Zion. How can we sing the songs of Zion in a foreign land, in captivity, in exile? The grief is going to come to an end. The mourning is going to be turned into great joy, as the children of Jacob were redeemed from the oppressive hand of Pharaoh after 400 years of slavery, after 4 centuries of oppression. Likewise, after 70 years of exile, the people of God were again brought back to their homeland. What a wonder, what a joy. Psalm 126. When Jacob was brought back to Zion, our mouth was filled with laughter. We were like the one that has dreamt a dream. What a joy, what a dream coming true. After 70 years of grief, 70 years is no less time, 40 years is no less time. Jacob is familiar with grief, with sleepless nights, with agony, with loss. Because of whom? Not because of outsiders, because of his own father-in-law. Laban is after the life of Jacob for no good reason. After doing much good, after serving him for 7 long years, he was cheated by Laban. Again, after serving for 7 more years, he was cheated by Laban. Laban is a wicked father-in-law who is at loss. God appears to Laban in a dream and says, "You should neither speak good nor bad to my servant. Be careful. If you do any harm to my servant Jacob, be careful." God has warned Laban, be careful. You should neither speak good nor bad to my servant Jacob. You should not do any harm to my servant Jacob. Laban was chasing after the life of Jacob. You have stolen my idols. Who has stolen the idols that were put? Who want the idols? Is Jacob an idolater, idol worshipper? Has Jacob stolen the idols from the house of Laban? False accusations. Laban's daughter herself, Rahel, has stolen the idols from Laban's house. Who is at loss? The one who has stolen the idols, only her womb was closed, while Leah has many sons, many children, while Leah was fruitful. Rahel's womb is closed. Why? What for you have to worship the idols? What for you have to stole the idols? So many fertility centers. What for? What is the reason for barrenness? Joseph, you will be a flowering branch. Joseph has been indeed a flowering branch. Joseph has gone through so much injustice, so much oppression. The wicked woman, Potiphar's wife, who is after the life of Joseph. Again, the same story. The wicked woman, the queen, Jezebel, is after the life of Eliza. Same story, same wickedness. Because these wicked women are filled with the spirit of the serpent, the ancient serpent, the deceptive Satan, provoking these women to robbing the idols, provoking these women to tempt the righteous people. Are these temptations less temptations? Are only the ungodly facing temptations? The saints, the preachers, the anointed fathers are being tempted by wicked women. And fathers are having no immunity, priests are having no immunity. Why? If our prayers were not to be too short, we will not be two strangers to holy living. E.M. Bounds, the servant of the Lord, his day starts at 4 a.m. every morning with prayer. E.M. Bounds, such a mighty man of prayer, writes, why there is holiness missing in the life of even the godly people, ordained men and women. If our prayers were not to be too short, we will not be two strangers to holy living. Day and night, Joseph used to meditate on the law of God, and the law was written in the heart of God. That is the secret because of which he could sustain the onslaught of the wicked woman, Potiphar's wife. The consequence is prison. For to me, to die is profit, but to live is Christ. Paul is so confident of his destination. I know very well what is going to happen. Paul was given such wonderful revelations that Paul was even taken to the heavens while he was alive. Paul knew very well what is going to happen after death. Dearly beloved, do not be discouraged. I do not want you to be unaware of the mystery. I do not want you to be unknown of this mystery, that what is going to happen after your death. Now that you have accepted the Savior, now that you have received Jesus Christ as your Savior, even death cannot separate you from God. Neither hunger nor sword, any of these calamities, any of these tribulations that you face in world, or even death, will not be able to separate you from the love of God. Paul knew very well that after this soul is separated from this earthen clay pot, earthen tabernacle, that his soul is going to inherit the beautiful dwellings that have been prepared for him. Again, the same author, E.M. Bounds, writes, God in heaven owes much to Paul, and Paul owes much to his praying lips that has given such bold utterances in the preachings. Paul is confident that through death, after death, he is for sure going to inherit the celestial city Zion. Do you have such assurance? Do you have such guarantee? Moshe do not have such guarantee. Even the faithful servant of God, Moshe, is faithful in all the household of God. God himself has buried Moshe on the mountaintop. Moshe, enough, not a single step further. Entrust all the responsibilities to your servant Joshua. Yourself, come to the mountaintop. You will be resting with your ancestors. Your earthly journey is going to come to an end, Moshe. Moshe was desiring to take the children of Jacob to the promised land Canaan. Yet, God decided the other way. Moshe, your earthly journey is going to come to an end. Come to the mountaintop tomorrow morning, and I myself will lay my hands on your eyes. God himself has performed the last rites of burying Moshe. Burying the body of Moshe, is it a small wonder? Is it a small honor? The soldiers that sacrifice their life defending the nation will be buried with great honor, with all national honors. This honor is much greater. God himself has honored his faithful servant Moshe for 40 long years. Moshe sustained so many ordeals, so many troubles, so many problems, so much rebellion from the children of Jacob. 40 years is no less time. Moshe and all the congregation of Israel, 600,000 Israelites, have to go through hunger, thirst, insecurity, not knowing the next step. The steps of the righteous are ordered, commanded by God himself. You need not know what the next step is. When God himself is holding your hand, he will lead you. You need not fear of your next step. The Israelites do not know what the next step is, where they have to go. Yet God as cloud guided all through the wilderness, all through the deserts, all through their uncertainties. This is the way of travel of Israelites, all through the wilderness, all through their uncertainties. You have to follow this cloud. When the cloud rises from the tabernacle, your camp, all the congregation of Israel have to move further. If the cloud remains on the tabernacle, you should not move further because there is a danger. I am not able to move forward. There are so many hurdles, there are so many obstacles. God is preparing something better for you. That is the reason why you are made to wait. The Israelites are made to wait for 40 long years. So many murmurings, so many grumblings. Where is the promised land? Where are the promises? We were promised that we are going to inherit the houses that we have not built by ourselves. We are going to inherit our own vineyards. We are going to sit under fig trees, under pomegranate trees, and going to relish the fruit of this land. Nothing is there to bear this hunger, to bear this thirst. Have you brought us? Are there no graveyards? Are there no graveyards in Egypt that you have brought us into this wilderness to perish? So many grumblings, so much rebellion. Yet Moshe is humble. Moshe is patient. That is the very reason why Moshe received this honor. God himself has buried, no human hand. Not even his faithful servant Joshua was given the responsibility of burying Moshe's body. Moshe, not a step further, entrust all the responsibilities of leading further the children of Jacob to the promised land to your servant Joshua. He will lead. But for you, yourself have to come to the mountain top. Tomorrow morning, I myself will lay my hand on your eyes. What a great honor, what a faithfulness. Blessed in the sight of God, precious in the sight of God is the death of his servant. Paul knew this very well. My death is precious in the sight of God. It is not my concern who is going to bury me.